Are you tired of mediocre haircuts and lackluster service? Look no further. Get ready to redefine your grooming game with the ultimate experience at No Grease Barbershop, conveniently located at North Lake Mall and Charlotte Premium Outlets. It's not just about a haircut, it's about the experience. No Grease Premium in North Lake sets a new standard for luxury with a full-service bar selection. Elevate your grooming experience even further with their signature drinks served during your service or while you wait. Whether you're looking for a classic fade, a timeless gentleman cut, or a bold modern style, No Grease Premium in North Lake got you covered with their design and color specialists. Let's not forget about the importance of routine self-care for men. Their partnership with Alpha Male Nail Care, exclusively at No Grease Premium, offers manicures and pedicures as a part of your routine grooming. Visit No Grease Barbershop at Charlotte Premium Outlets or North Lake Mall today, and make sure you tell them that the Black Dads Club sent you. I'm convinced my mom knows when we record and she calls like on purpose now, because last episode she called twice and I was just like, I hit her up later, I was like, Mom, what do you want? Oh, nothing. I'm like, yo, and then the week before she called and I'm like, yo, I'm convinced that she's like, yo, I'm about to sneak up in there. Before we start this podcast, I hate to intro the podcast this way, but we have to start this way. Do not go get that Crown Royal Blackberry. Don't try it unless you just cool. Look, if you diabetic, you don't need it anyway. You probably should be drinking like whiskey, bourbon, and stuff like that, right?
No, you're supposed to drink like the white liquors. So like tequila and vodka really is like the only thing if you're watching your sugar intake.
Yeah, which we all need to start doing.
Yeah, whiskey though is like super high sugar content. Like just regular whiskey has high sugar content. Bro,
this Crown Royal Blackberry tastes like cane sugar and water just mixed. Like, but when it's thick. If anybody ever worked at F&B, it tastes like simple syrup, like completely. It is disgusting.
You should have brought it in today, man. We could have did a taste test.
We could have done a taste
live
test
on air.
Live on air. You know what? We'll do it next time because I don't think I'm gonna make it through it. And I was mad because I got it and I'm like, but only thing I kept thinking of, the young girls gonna kill this at the day parties because they gonna mix it with lemonade and it's gonna look like a lemonade, so they ain't gotta look like they drinking a manly drink. And them youngins, and I'm changing the age.
That's why Crown Royal rolled it out for the summer.
Oh, for the host. I am convinced this is for the 24 to 28. I'm knocking the ages down. I was like, 28. Yeah, by the time you're 32, you should know what you like to drink or what you want to drink. You ain't falling for the gimmicks no more.
Nah, you want a mixologist at that point.
Basically, yeah, because Ciroc got me until I was about 32. They got me. And then when in the last year, I was just like, oh, I only drink the coconut because it's amazing. And then I was like, yo, this is actually kind of nasty. And I still got a hangover.
Only thing I really drink is whiskey. I had to cut back on the whiskey because, I got to go caloric deficit because y'all keep calling me fat on YouTube, so. Right.
They ain't mess with me. I got a haircut. Shout out to No Grease.
Yeah, I'm gonna lose weight, man. So y'all can get off that.
Once Mike lose the weight that he needs, we gonna do our photo shoot.
We can go ahead and do it now, man. I wear a suit. All right. What can I wear to like? You're a photographer. What can I wear to like accentuate the curves?
Black.
I
always say that, and also like sweaters. I know it sounds crazy. It's the summertime. You put a sweater on, nobody ever noticed how big you are. Never.
All right. So yeah. I have some sweaters.
Yeah. Or a hoodie.
Yeah. We'll do the shoot. We'll do the shoot.
Stop body shaming Mike. My co-host does not like it. Hold on, man.
I don't mind. Y'all get it off, man. What's crazy is I'd rather people like, take a shot and be like, yo, you short, you get no women. I'd rather you do that than like misquote me. Like if you take what I say out of context, like that drives me nuts.
I don't know what the albino jokes don't bother me. Calling me bald do, especially because I'm losing some of my hair. I think that's the real thing. Like that bothers me. Like when I see that, I'm like, oh, that's messed up. Because I will say this. Me and Mike had this conversation. The albinism jokes from white folks do not hit. Like they don't land. They don't sound good. They not even funny. The one from black people, they use the time if it's overdone. I'm just like, all right, I didn't heard this 30 times. But the bald jokes. Ease up. Ease the hell up. And stop calling me a ginger. That's the other thing. Now that was actually kind of funny.
That is actually kind of. But the ginger one is funny.
Don't call me a ginger man.
That's like, what did the dude call me? It was funny the last time.
He called you my man, the actor, man.
Was it James Earl?
Yeah,
he got me.
The Lion King dude.
Yeah,
got me I think that got sent to some groups I was in.
I could do the but laugh.
It was.
You got me.
I was like, leave my man alone, man. All right.
What's the best partner for me? Like bringing them into my world, what I got going on isn't easy. And it's not just I love you, you love me. That should be enough, right? It's not quite that simple. You know, I think finding the right person to understand all of me, but then all that comes with me as well. I go back and
that was Michael B. Jordan, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
So, I think it sounded good. It did, but no, I mean, I'm not going to bang on Michael B. Jordan. That's my dude. But I think we confuse like equality and fairness, right? And when you say you want a partnership, correct me if I'm wrong, and audience, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the ideal of a partnership is that we both say, hey, we're both going to put together, we say 50-50, but right, we mean 100-100, right?
Okay.
And that's not the way partnerships or relationships work. They're never really equal.
Never.
You know what I'm saying? Like somebody at some point is doing more, right?
Facts.
And it's just the partnership ideal is we're just in this together. And when I listened to it and I read the comments, I think a lot of people is like, yeah, I'm bringing everything you're bringing. It's like, well, that's not a partnership, right? What you want?
And you lying.
Yeah. You don't want equality, right? What we want is fairness, right? Like if I was to step in the ring with prime Mike Tyson, right? 24-year-old Mike Tyson,
over.
Right?
This pot is never getting off the ground. Literally.
And if they say, okay, all right, we got to make the fight fair, right? And then they put a blindfold on Mike, and then they tie one arm behind his back. That at that point the fight sort of fair, right? I'm still have opportunity to lose, right? Like that's the crazy part.
Yes.
And it's like that's what fair is. Equality means me and Mike put on the same headgear, boxing gloves, same time frame, same trainers, right? That's equality, right? Fairness is tie arm behind his back, put on a blindfold, and you put on headgear.
Facts. And it's 3 mics in the ring.
Yeah, and it's like, all right, good luck, right? Still, good luck. And I think, so I hear what Michael B. Jordan is saying, but I think we need to really understand is that, honestly, what we're looking for is fairness. And sometimes what we're looking for is, I want it to be unfair for you.
Yeah, sometimes I think what I heard from Michael B. Jordan was he's talented, he's rich, he's black, he's in this situation, and only thing I got from it was it's like, yo, I want a situation where somebody's not completely using me, and he has to fish through so many women who are just using him. And I think I kind of understood where he was going with that, because right now you can get all right, I hate to do this because I told y'all I thought what's Steve Harvey's daughter name? Lori. I always say that I thought that relationship was fake. We only got 2 pictures of them, nothing else. He was fighting some issues, she was fighting some issues. It's a perfect marriage for 2 good people. Cool, bet. But I imagine it's hard dating a woman like her who we don't know what her talent is. We don't know what she do. We don't know what she sound like. We know she's beautiful. But it's like, all right, when I get to the table and you get to the table, my side of the table is extensively full. Yours is extensively not. So are you here to use me? And I imagine that the next woman that Michael B. Jordan, let's say he gets the girl who works at 7-Eleven, who's beautiful, who's nice, who's sweet, who's caring. I do think he has asked himself, like, dang, deep down, is it using me? But to your point, it does have to be of like, all right.
I think as men, we're afraid to ask for fairness, right? Like I'm looking up the definition of fairness right now. I say fairness means treating people according to their needs, right? Like what if what Michael B. Jordan needs is someone to cater to him, cook for him,
facts,
do all the small things for him, right? Like, what if that's what he needs, right? Is that chauvinism? Is that patriarchy? When a guy who has everything else that he can desire in life, right? Mm-hmm. Porsches, Ferraris, baddies, cooks, chefs, right? He has everything else, right?
Shout out to the baddies.
Yeah, for him to say that, like, all right, what I need for you to do is to make me a priority, right? I need you to be the executive assistant to my world, right? And to be solely focused on me, right? It comes off now whenever you're dating that if the moment a man says, these are my needs, right? It's like, no, not doing that. Not, it's not right. It's the patriarchy. And it's like, fairness is you treat people according to their needs. If I say these are my needs, then that's what I need.
Absolutely. And you know what's funny is you hear a lot of these dudes, especially these 1% type dudes, who haven't settled down. They say they struggle with that all the time with women. Yeah. It's like, hey, I give my needs or they overcompensate. It was funny. I was listening to Lou Will do a interview and he talked about like how it was hard, how he got to the 2 girlfriends part. But he made a great point. He's like, yo, I had one girl, I really liked her. And because I was always on the road, I was never home, I used to overcompensate. Yeah. And he said, we got to a point where she kind of was just like, he said, once I retired, I really realized I couldn't have her around. He said, I couldn't afford her. He's like, the game check stopped coming. She wasn't able to go to the mall. He said, yo, I would be like, yo, I'm going on a week-long road trip. I know you won't see me for a week, but so here's X amount of money. Please go shop. Enjoy yourself. This is I'm sorry. And he talked about like how shit changed. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it is interesting. I was going to mention though, it was funny, get my haircut yesterday. Shout out to Neil. And we have this conversation about how some people see marriage as the end all be all, but not like what we're building together as the end all be all. Yeah. That's what I wanted to mention earlier. And that goes to what you were saying. Like, me and my wife has sat down like, hey, this is what the end is going to. We've literally had this conversation about me and you. Like, when this podcast gets to here. Yeah. Yo.
She's like, cut check.
Well, she's happy because she's like, oh, I ain't got to deal with these people at
not
work.
Like cut the check divorce, but like cut the check like,
oh, nah.
I'm at the mall.
Yeah. Well, it's like, look, if my photography business, once it gets here, this is what we're going to be doing. Once, me and her have already talked. Yesterday, she was like, yo, why am I not an employee yet? Like, if you want to get here, this is the tax breaks that gets you here. Yeah. These are the things that's available to you. Why aren't you using it? And it's like, damn, how many times do we sit down at least with the woman that we're dating? It's like, yo, where do you want to be at?
Yeah, like, where do we want to go? No, and that actually makes all the sense in the world. But again, right, it's the ideal of, we understand that we're not trying to be equal here, right? We're partners, right? And the partner doesn't mean that, I give the same amount that you give. It means that, hey, we're going to do all we can to get to where we are, right? Mm-hmm. If that means me giving 90 and you giving 10, and that's for now, right? That's okay because that's my partner, right? And I think everybody likes it in reverse. Everybody likes when the other person's giving 90 and then you get to give 10.
Oh, I would let it go to the mall.
But then when you give, when you giving 90 and then they giving 10, you're like, I don't like the way this feels. And it's like, well, in a partnership, that's how it works. And I get what Michael B is saying, but I just wonder like how many times as men, because I think we are taught, we're taught equality more than we're taught fairness, and fairness is 100% different from equality.
Well, we're gonna speak about equality later when it gets to the Army, but we'll talk about that. I want to welcome everybody to the Black Dads Club. Sorry, my cord was sitting on top of another cord, and I was getting frequency only in my mic, and I can't fuss at Mike after that episode about the audio and then come in the next week and my audio be jacked up. I think that's fairness. You know what I'm saying?
That is fair. That is fair.
Me and Mike, so, we have a little run. We have pre-production meetings that last all of 30 seconds. Then we have post-production meetings. And then I'm going to talk about y'all. I'm going to talk about Mike because I haven't fussed at Mike in a while and I feel an argument coming. Because Juneteenth was this last week. Happy Pride Month to all the dads. I did have one dad who hit me up, and he was a gay dad. He said, yo, I wish you happy Father's Day, and you did not say it back to me. And I told him, I said, bruh, I got to use the I was drunk all day excuse.
Oh, there you go.
He said, all right, cool. But now, since he's a listener, he going to be like, nigga, you lied. But I just forgot. I
thought we said happy Father's Day to everybody last week.
Yeah, but I ain't going to say that the gays want to be.
You listen to the old pod.
See? And happy Pride Month. I'm looking out for your other side too, my brother. This is episode 144. It's probably going to have something to do with fairness. I do want to say the Active Dads group that's here based in Charlotte, Wednesday, they are having an ice cream with dads event
tomorrow, right?
Which is be tomorrow. Mike is making me post this episode today since he told y'all it's tomorrow. God dang it, throwing me under the bus. But yeah, I was gonna drop it today. But yes, it's tomorrow. I want to say it's Camp North End. I might be out there for a little bit because T-Pain is coming into town, and you know I got to go see him.
When's he get in town?
He's at the amphitheater tomorrow.
Yeah, I did see that email.
Yeah,
is that tomorrow?
Yeah, it's tomorrow. Dang. Hey man,
that kid friendly. T-Pain kid friendly.
Yeah, they got the line out there.
You know, it might pop in
until I'm in love with a stripper. Come on. Then you guys explain that in the car. You know, it's funny. I had a mom I took pictures of, and she talked about when JoJo Siwa, at the end of her her concert, you know, her audience is like 13 and under. At the end of it, she was like, I just want to let y'all know I'm bisexual. And she ran off stage. And she was like, as an adult, cool. She said, but now I'm having my 6-year-old in my car ask me what is being bisexual. Yeah. And she said it. And I know her. I know she a real mom. When I say a real mom, she a real one. Let me put it like that. So I knew she wasn't exaggerating until I met 3 other moms who was at that show, who was like, that was the most awkward ride home from a concert I've ever been to.
Entertainers they're just weird people, man. Like,
entertainers and athletes.
That's why I hate whenever we try to put them in like any kind of leadership position.
Mike hates that.
It's like these are not.
They're not smart people.
They're good at what they do, man. They're savants at sports and music and instruments, and that's it.
That's it. Yeah, but she was like, yo, it was such a weird conversation. And then I'm sitting there and I'm cool with this girl's daughter who's like 8. She calls me her photographer, which is fun. And she was like, yeah, I still don't know what it means. My mom did a terrible job explaining.
Yeah, I mean, how do you, who wants to be explaining that to their 6-year-old or 8-year-old?
Exactly. So it was funny. All right, let's get to it, man. I told y'all Juneteenth was going to be beautiful, man. Shout out to, what's his name? Timberland and Swiss announcing with Elon Musk
on Juneteenth. Good Lord. You know, it was funny is we recorded on Juneteenth and I'm getting up and I see it. I'm just like, yo.
So it didn't hit me until I got in the car because you was like, this is weird. And I was like, I'm like, why is it weird? And I was like, hold on. Who owns Twitter again? I said, oh, hell.
Yeah.
Interesting. You know what also makes it interesting to me? They don't even announce a comeback battle. Which makes me believe that Elon just cut a check for y'all or just say, hey, we got the platform here.
I really think it was just a dumb. I think Elon realized it was Juneteenth and Swiss and Timberland didn't. Yeah. I think they were so excited to get the check. I think the only person that was in on that joke was Elon.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know who I want to see. We're never getting Puff and JD again, that is good for JD. Cause Puff was about to wash you, buddy. But we never getting that battle. Puff is out.
That battle
it's never gonna happen. Yeah. I would love to see Mary J. Blige, but I don't know who she gonna go against.
Well, who would Mary go against?
Maybe Janet.
That's a reach. That's not really her genre. Like
it's not. Yeah, it's conflicting genre. But you talking about Mary got a strong 20, not a good 20. She has a beautiful 20.
I mean, there's really like Mary J. It's gonna sound crazy to say. She kind of was in a league of her own like the whole time.
She was.
Like it's really no one came close.
You gonna come up there. You gonna have Biggie songs. You gonna have Jay-Z songs. You gonna have your own songs. You gonna be kicking KC back in for the longest.
All right, this is gonna sound crazy.
Here we go. Shit.
Mary J. versus Beyonce.
All right, so we're gonna go to the next topic, man. King, I love it. More bad music takes from Mike. You saw the Kendrick show.
I did. It was a good show.
No, I want all of it. Tell me it was a beautiful, amazing, great show.
It was a really good show. It was a really good show.
This man's a hater.
No, I'm not a hater. It was a really good show. I mean, there's things that I don't like culturally, right?
Let's hear it.
Yeah. I mean, the whole everybody's like, oh, look at all the California gangs getting along on stage. Like,
beautiful.
Like that should be the natural state of black men. In general, it's like I you know what I'm saying? Like people want credit for things that I think as a black man we should be doing on a consistent basis.
But niggas don't like each other.
Yeah, but we don't have to kill each other though. Like that's the caveat. Yeah, we can not like each other. Like I agree. But no, the show was great. I mean, show was great. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give y'all this. Not only the show was great. All right, I am going to officially say that as someone that is objective, sitting on the outside, looking in, had no dog in the fight.
He had a dog in the fight.
Well, J. Cole, but J. Cole left the fight. So, and I mean, in Future, honestly, this conversation should have Future in it. I love the way that Future just stirred the pot
and disappeared. Facts.
But I'm gonna say it, like, with all the hype right now, Kendrick's the king of the mound, right?
Well, we knew that.
Yeah, he's king of the hill, right?
I knew that.
Yeah. Right? No. So, but here's the thing, though, right? Kendrick's king of the hill, right? What are you gonna do with it? Because I think a lot of times that, you know, we want that position, but then when we get it, man, we like, oh. So where'd I go from here?
Two things. My wife this morning, we're going to talk about wives embarrassing their husband. I'm glad she didn't say this on a public platform. She called me the most wishy-washy podcaster she ever heard of. Because she said, yo, you was just at Drake's show. Drake is always your number one artist, and you just switched up on him in a matter of 2 months. I was like, yeah, fuck that nigga.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I was like, but here I will say this. I do believe Ryan tried to sneak a debate in me. You know what? I've been paying attention since arguing with you for the last, 10 years of my life. For the last 10 years of my life, I spent 7 years arguing with Ezra about everything. Since Ezra has moved on and quit a podcast on me, I've been arguing with Mike for the last 3 years. Y'all try to give me a debate because you know I'm going to take it. And then y'all switch one point and then you make me stay on that switch point of what you did. So Ryan tried to show me a video of a dude talking about how, you know, Drake didn't lose because Drake's career isn't over. Two things. That's not. We have to stop listening to the internet. I had to tell somebody on the internet yesterday, 90% of the people you are arguing with on the internet are bots or unintelligent. And you have to accept that. So Drake's career is not over. One of the main reasons he's too talented for his career to be over. One of the main reasons I believe his career is not going to be over because Kendrick Lamar is officially the head of the big three. He's proven that. J. Cole has been telling us for 2 years that he will erase anybody. He will beat anybody. And when the oven got hot, J. Cole said, hey, I'm done cooking.
Yeah.
And he got out. Drake got in there and took an L. Cool. So when it comes to those three, they can literally say, yo, Kendrick won fair and square. Here's the thing. Kendrick Lamar doesn't like the internet. He doesn't like being outside.
Yeah.
He don't like being the face of anything. So that is something that Drake thrives in.
Yes.
Kendrick told him, he said, you the only one that like being famous.
So, yeah. And I wonder what Kendrick's going to do with that now.
Kendrick is about to make this video. He's going to drop another album, and we'll check in with Kendrick in 2028.
Yeah.
Like, this literally what's going to happen.
And here's the thing with the album drop. I really wonder, you know, with all the hype that we have right now with Kendrick, let's hand him the crown, right? Kendrick's the king, right? He's king of the big three. You know, is that going to be a quadruple platinum album, or are we going to realize that it was more Drake hate than Kendrick love?
I don't know. I mean, we have to see. Kendrick always drops quality. I don't think nobody ever looks and goes, I mean, Damn was just the one that it was just like, all right, this is out of control. Like, that's his highest selling album, and it still doesn't compare into other stuff like what Drake does. Even, you know, I love the whole thing. People are like, oh, Kendrick's the lowest selling of the big three. And it's like, well, he has 3 albums.
He got
4. Excuse me. He has 4. Drake has dropped 4 in like 2 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a difference.
But to be fair, like Spooky Hours and what was the other one?
Them ain't in there. All the Dogs is in there. That's a real album.
Yeah, those are not real albums, bro.
All the Dogs is like an 18-song album that dropped. That's a real
it's like
album.
what Jeezy was dropping like the last 2 years of his contract.
Yeah, see, this other.
This is how I know. Like, it's just like, yo, it's just an album.
Drake stans keep moving the goalposts.
I'm not a Drake stan.
Yes, you are.
I like Drake. I'm not a Drake stan. I would never sit here and be like, the thing is, the guy's too good to just say. It's like watching Kobe back in the day. Not a Kobe Bryant fan, right?
He hates him.
I would never watch Kobe though and be like, that nigga can't ball.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
But for all the dogs is a Drake album. It is a Drake album. Just because it was ass don't mean it wasn't an album. It was a Drake album. Her Loss with 21 Savage. That is a Drake album.
Yeah,
Drake,
yeah. I mean, like, we can tell when the work is quality and when this shit's damn near a mixtape.
I've been telling y'all. Okay, I give you that. It's the quality of it was mixtapes, but that's Drake being ass. Also, Kendrick, let me tell you something I love about this show. I love you opening up with Euphoria. I love you dressing like Tupac. I love you doing all the dance moves, and we coming to find out That's Drake dancing. Those are all the same dance moves from Drake in Tootsie Slide. I thought that was amazing.
That is hilarious. I did not know that.
Bro, hilarious. I love that the first line of the credit said Dave Free. Drake, you got to hold that L, my brother. I love the Drake stand saying, yo, Whitney ain't there. And then she was front row with the kids.
Leave people wives and kids out of stuff,
tell Drake that.
Yeah, I am telling Drake. I don't like that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I love you bringing the song back 6 times.
That was excessive.
No, it wasn't, because I wanted a 7. I wanted him to do one time where he just put the mic down and walk off. Yeah. He did it in the crowd, arenas like that, there is that echo. Yeah. I love everybody saying, all right, it's been 2 months, Kendrick, you're doing too much. And then we found out that Drake played back-to-back for 2 years straight. That was hilarious. 2
years, but
it was.
No, I mean, play your hits. I mean, I'm not mad at him playing it, but I mean, again.
No, play the disc. You told Kendrick Lamar, I am here to tell you one thing. You told him, yo, it's headshots for the year. You better walk around like Daft Punk. If you don't kick his ass for the rest of this year, I'm going to be disappointed.
We're going to see.
You like Daft Punk, don't you? They had a great last album. What a talented group of people. Come on, don't hate on Daft Punk. Come on, we can't we can never do a European tour. Yeah. Can't do an LA tour with Mike.
Yeah, after the Eminem shit, fuck it. I'm not.
We never going to Detroit. Like, never that. And I'm
going to Detroit anyway.
I think I'm allowed in Atlanta. I'm going to make it up to y'all.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kendrick Lamar, man.
It was a great show. It was a great show.
It was a beautiful show.
I'm giving Kendrick credit. I'm going to say he won. But I can't wait to see like the business side of them fighting in the future. Like, dropping albums simultaneously before leaking. I mean, all that's coming. I'm curious to see that. I'm curious to see what Kendrick does with this.
Facts. And Kendrick, I do want you to know, whenever you do drop your album, Drake dropping something on that day, buddy.
Oh, he dropping it the day before. Drake will probably drop 3 albums.
Yeah, he's gonna sandwich your day.
He is going to saturate the market. Like, you already know.
It's over.
That's for the rest of your life. That's gonna happen.
Facts. All right, here we go.
Doing my job.
Hold on. Let's start this over. Imagine, right? Shout out to Charlamagne, man. I think Mike still ain't found him.
Depending what it is, like if it's something like really personal, really serious, something I know is traumatizing, I'll be like, sure, I'll oblige. For this one, I said no. Yeah. And the reason I said no, they had 6 things they didn't want us to ask. You want to know what those 6 things were? Yeah. They didn't want us to ask about Kai Cenat. The whole "we friends" though thing. Yeah. Right? Like, huh? Okay. They didn't want us to ask about her not being on tour with Chris Brown anymore.
That's interesting.
They didn't want us to ask about the color thing.
Injury.
They didn't want us to ask about her injury that she sustained. What else was it? They didn't want to ask us about who she was dating, which I wouldn't do anyway. And what was the other one? It was one it was just all frivolous
and
stuff.
Why? What are they trying to do? They're trying to protect an image that they're curating.
What are you asking Tyla at that point? Like, what conversation are you having?
I will say this. So the last part was they didn't want to compare her to any other pop stars. I don't know.
It's fair. I mean, as a person, right? Like, don't compare my pod to any other pod.
Facts. But if you bring me on, if I go on your pod and you be like, yo, do you feel like, for instance, we go on a pod, people are going to ask us, yo, do you feel like some of y'all stuff is similar to Joe Budden? Yeah. Now, we've heard some of our shit on his show.
Yes.
And we've heard his shit on our show.
Yes.
They're never going to ask him that.
No.
But.
Because he's a bigger star, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, when it comes to Tyla, first of all, fair or foul on Charlamagne to ask those questions, because he definitely said, y'all asked all 6 of them.
No, I mean that's fair. Like, what else are we going to talk about? Like, you don't have enough albums for us to discuss your music catalog, right? Your musical journey. Like, I mean, like, we're not. I agree, right? Like,
facts.
I would say, why aren't you on the Chris Brown, tour, right? Mm-hmm. What happened, right? Now, if it's salacious, I can see you being like, yo, for the sake of him finishing his tour and me going on my tour, we're not going to discuss that. But that's interesting, right? I wouldn't ask about who she's dating, because obviously, part of an artist is people thinking that they're single.
Oh, facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's so it's like I think that's fair, but
2 Chainz told us he was married. He ain't dropped an album since.
Yeah, like
they never dropping that shit.
I mean, you gotta recognize your fan base, man.
Yeah.
The color thing, I think is a good conversation.
Great conversation.
Yeah. So I mean, I think culturally, it's a good conversation.
Yeah.
So I mean, we are so disconnected from, color being used in this country. Like, I literally heard my grandma use the word colored. Like
Absolutely.
my grandma, right?
Yeah.
Like not my great grandma. Like,
Yeah.
like the lady whose house I'm waking up eating breakfast at. So it's like, I mean, I think culturally it's a lot of times to ask questions like that. I don't know what, I honestly do not know what they would expect her to talk about.
Charlamagne's follow-up showed me even more how unprepared Tyla and her people was for that interview. I'm gonna tell you why. If you follow the Breakfast Club, which I do not anymore, no offense, Breakfast Club, when y'all went off the radio in Charlotte at the beginning of COVID, I honestly was just done. But I would say this: if you ever listen to the Breakfast Club, they always say, if your people send us a list, we're going, no matter what's on the list, we're going to tell you no.
Yeah.
And we expect for you to cancel the interview, which is fine for us.
Yeah.
Because we don't like being told. And one thing that Charlamagne said is, I don't know if they go to the white publication and say, we're not talking about this as a black artist. And he's always stood on that. And because I haven't listened to the Breakfast Club in 4 years, I know 4 years ago they were saying that.
Yeah.
And he would always say, this is why. I believe that's one main reason why you haven't had I was about to call him Jake. Why you haven't had Drake. Shout out to Jake. That's why you haven't had Drake on the show.
Yeah.
Because it is known when Drake comes on your platform, he leaves with the memory cards, the audio. He sends you the finished product.
Yeah.
That is a known thing. I do want to know how they went for LeBron's show though. Or it must have been we can't talk about this and that.
It probably was. And here's the thing, as podcasters, right? As someone that will have guests on in the future, I'll be 100% honest with y'all. I have no intentions of ever bringing anybody on.
Mike don't want y'all on here, by the way. I'm gonna say it plain.
No. I have no intention of bringing anybody on and throwing them up under the bus.
Oh,
So Gavin is all in the back of the group chat, just throwing shit like, yeah, I don't like guests on shows. I like shows that run without guests. That's why we haven't had guests.
My bad.
I love this guy, but I would never, you know what I'm saying? Like I'd never bring, like I would always say, like if I brought somebody on, I'd be like, hey, do you feel comfortable talking about this?
Facts.
Right? You know what I'm saying? And if they say no, and I don't really see we could do a show without it, I'd be like, well, don't do it. Dude, when I remember we had a guy in our inbox, it's probably about a year ago, who was going through a divorce.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like the very beginning of it. He wanted to come on and talk, blah, blah, blah. Like, have you been to court yet? He was like, no. I was like, then the answer's no. Like,
Mike
no way.
no
I was like, I
there.
promise you, you're going to see why soon.
Yeah.
And he hit us up probably like 4 months later, and he was like,
You was right.
Good call.
Yeah.
So it's like, I would never want to throw anybody up under the bus. But there are conversations where I think is interesting and people are healed enough and mature enough to protect themselves, protect people that they're discussing in it, and protect, and make sure it doesn't age poorly on the internet. So
Facts. I remember I was doing a giveaway for a maternity shoot, and so one of the moms, she hit me up. She was beautiful. So I'm like, Instagram is going up after this. Like, she was one of the baddies that calmed down.
yeah.
And now she didn't, she did the Sierra, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she did what she's supposed to do.
Yeah, I got a wholeness question for you later.
Oh,
That'll be my Ask the Black Dad. But anyway, bro, she hit me up. I said, yo, this is what I'm doing. I sent her the same packet I sent to every mom. She sent it back to me, said, I don't want to do none of this. I want to do all of this. And I said, well, I have no reason for you to be here because I have all of that. There's no need for you to be here. But yeah, I just thought, like, if you don't want to talk about something, don't talk about it. But also, Tyla's people, I'm not going to guess the race of those publicists behind her, have to do their research. Charlamagne, Envy, and Jess ain't going for none of that shit. They have never went for it, or they won't be there. And they have told you, yo, I told them I'm not going to leave these questions out, and they fought back. So guess what? I just decided not to be at the interview. I let y'all interview. So if you ever want to know, why is Angela Yee interviewing somebody by herself? Why is DJ Envy and Yee, like, because Charlamagne was like, I'm not there. It's been people there. Envy was like, yo, I'm not finna sit here for this shit. But anyway, so my question is, me and my wife was having a debate. You got to be the tiebreaker.
Okay.
The debate was about being a hoe.
Okay.
Like, does getting around matter after you 30? Like, if I got the reputation that I was a hoe,
Yeah.
does it matter? And we're talking about women in particular. If a woman is known as a hoe, does that matter after 30?
To a certain extent.
Okay.
To a certain extent. I mean, like I did not have the best reputation in my 20s, right? So when I was in my 30s, and people knew me, right? Some of the pushback that I got, like when I actually was like, yo, I'm settling down, I'm not really that guy anymore, right? And and people were just like, whatever, boy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I had to accept that. Like I couldn't be like, no, I've really changed. Like
I've changed.
I've changed. I'm a different person. Like, no, I had to accept the pushback, right? So, I mean, as a woman, right? Like, if a woman was, a hoe. It's funny. I just had a conversation about hoes, sex workers, and escorts, right? Like, what's the difference? I had a conversation on the way over here with one of my friends. But like, and like, I think the whole idea of being a hoe is the recklessness of it, right? You know what I'm saying? Because you're not really doing it for money. You're not really doing it for clout. You're not really doing it to get advanced. You're really just doing it because that's just like
you're a sex fiend.
Yeah, it's your nature. So I can't really say. So yeah, it does matter, right? You know what I'm saying? But it's like it matters in the sense of like, all right, what's the distance between you and all that stuff, and also like what's your honesty level, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you the type of person that could be like, hey, yeah, I had to get out of DC because I was wilding. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a lot different than like, yo, my job relocated me down here and I go to church, every Sunday now, right? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh shit, I got a good girl, I got a church girl, and then it's like,
woo,
we can't go visit museums in DC.
Never.
So it's like, so to your point, I think it does matter. I think the pushback
to my wife's point
is warranted, and I think that you have to kind of expect that, and at some point, yeah, like it's enough time on the vag facts or the dick facts that it falls off.
It was funny because we was sitting there talking. We was talking about like how, all right, I'll give you the full thing. I'll make it quick. So we was talking about like how you in high school, right? And the girl that gets around, her reputation is ruined. And she has to, from 15 to 18, whatever happens. And I gave her a particular girl now, a girl I know who works for the bank, who is a computer architect, great girl. Yeah. Cool. But I remember what one rumor did to her in high school.
Yeah. And here's the thing, like, even if they don't get around, if it gets out, that's all of high school.
And so her high school was ruined. Yeah. Like literally ruined. She changed high schools in 11th grade, and it was just like, it was that bad for her. And it's beautiful now to see her married. Matter of fact, and I'm gonna put it like this, there was no proof that she ever was a hoe. Matter of fact, it was just one story, but that story did enough for her, right? So then we get to college, right? And then you start thinking like, oh, if that girl gets around, she just known as a bop, and some dudes is just testing it out, and it's kind of like, damn, she can move on. And so I was telling my wife, I was like, I don't think it really matter once chicks get in their 30s. My wife was like, this depends on, you still like that, or you still. And I was like,
I agree with her.
Yeah,
it depends if you're still like that. Like if you was a bop, in college, right, until like 25. I'll be honest, all the bops I know from like my from 19 to 26, all the bops I know are married. Every last one of them. Yeah. Every last one of them. Yeah. All the good girls, half of them. Yeah. All right. Bops are married. All right. So take what you want from that story.
One girl I know, she got a beautiful family. Yeah. Shout out to her, man.
So I mean, again, I think it's a maturity thing. Like if you grow up, like I had to grow up. Like once I grew up, I was just like, oh, like I'm a decent dude. Like I'm actually a good dude now.
Aw, but look at Mike.
Yeah,
22. I should have did the Kendrick Lamar. Aw. I like that shit go hard. You gonna stop hating on Kendrick, man. The voices won this battle. You know what? We're gonna leave Kendrick alone, man. I loved it.
Speaking of, I ain't gonna talk about somebody.
Anyways, long story short, it wasn't that cute of a relationship at first. I hated him. I loved him. I dated the backup to piss him off, which worked.
Yes,
he was like, that'll do it.
Oh,
he was a bad boy too. Like Matthew's so sweet and Southern gentleman and all that stuff. And the backup was the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Ooh, and it upset him. So they lived in the same dorm because athletes lived in the same dorm, and he would see my car there. And so at one point he like waited and followed me out and got in my car and wouldn't get out. And he was like,
"This is so hot."
I was like, "This is amazing. It's working." Yeah. I was get out of my car, and he was like, "He's not right for you." And I was like, what? You can't tell me that.
So was he trying to casually date, and you were all in?
Yeah, girl.
Do you know what's weird? Never mind. There's so much weird about this. We could break down all the weird.
It's a good bit of weird stuff in this video.
Why are you talking?
Why are you telling the story?
Why are you talking?
Why are you telling? Hey, look, this is the thing, right? I don't know if I sent the clip from from
Shannon and him.
Yeah, but I didn't want to play the whole clip. It was the end of it. It was actually Channing talking of all people, believe it or not. But he actually made perfect sense. But I would never blame a man being young for going after the woman he wants, right?
Okay.
Or even older, right?
Okay.
My homegirl is the one who actually sent me this clip, and we was talking, and she was just like how do you feel about it? I was like, well, his wife owes it to him to not publicly embarrass him. Right, he is a $200-300 million earning, Super Bowl winning, number one draft pick, number one high school player of the year.
He's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Going to be a Hall like that's who he is, right? And I was like, if she tarnishes that, I was like, do you not think it's owed to him to not tarnish that? Like that becomes your job as a wife is also protecting his image.
Oh, facts.
Right. So I was like, what man? You had a woman, you thought you didn't want her. And you saw somebody else with her, and then he was like, you know what? I think I want her. Right?
Yeah.
I was like, she wasn't holding this nigga hand the whole time they were together. All right. So when you go back and get her, that's a part of it. I was like, do y'all want us to walk you through that? Like, do y'all want us to say, like, hey, what occurred here? Or do you think that we lie to ourselves that the whole time, you was with somebody else or we was dating and, I started seeing you out on dates and I'm like, I don't like the way that feels. I think I need to take her off the market. Do you think that we lie to ourselves about what's occurring? I was like, we're not lying to ourselves, but it's also you owe it to us to not rub our faces in it.
Here's my thing. This is so long ago.
Yeah, it's a bop story.
Bro, this is I don't know. Certain people just don't have to be on platforms. I don't know. Maybe she got a book coming out. Maybe, and it don't even matter because this is. Let me tell you something. Is Sue still in the league or is he out? Yeah, he out the league.
I think he out.
Okay, because if he was about to tackle your husband and try to break his leg, he's going to put his phone to Matt Stafford's ear and play this clip over and over. Look, they gonna start calling Matt the backup.
I would not want my wife to tell that story. Like, if I was married to a woman, I would not want her to tell that story.
You know why I don't want you to tell this story? Because we got fucking kids, yo.
Yeah.
Now my son has to hear this. Like, dang, mom.
Mom was shagging the backup?
Yeah.
Like, I'm literally the number one high school player in the country.
Yeah.
I am the best quarterback in the country.
And mom is
slumming it.
And not even that. Mom is happy to tell this story.
Yeah.
She cheesing. She putting her hair behind her head. She over here like
we owe it to protect our significant other. Like even if me as a man, if I marry a woman, right, and I boink the nanny, right? I should not go on a public platform and be like, I was boinking the nanny, man. She was fine. I would not do that to my wife.
With your daughter around here, like,
yeah. Hey, what are you talking about? Like, I think our society is so misandric that we don't even understand when we're like, just like tackling a dude emotionally from the top rope. Like,
facts. It was
cringe.
Tasteless.
The first time I saw it, it was cringe because I was like, I saw the headline. I was like, okay, it's no way she said that. And here's the thing: the headline was a little bit salacious, but she still threw it in there. She still threw it in there like, we was back and forth, and I went and dated the backup to make him jealous. And my car is there all the time. He sees it. He came down. It's like it's this idea of like, well, he wanted me, so I would like my wife to not do this.
Absolutely. Shout out to all the women that BuzzFeed just dropped an article, and the article is talking about 18 secrets that women have kept from men. As a guy who has too many, my wife shut all this down. We got married. Too many girlfriends. I've heard most of all these, but they're still fucking hilarious.
They are hilarious. And it's a slow news week.
Absolutely, this is the slowest news week in a while.
So we gonna go
one of the ones that made me laugh was if I buy a piece of jewelry, new shoes, new purse, or anything for myself, I feel about the cost. Like my mom used to tell us she used to do that. But my dad used to always call me a snitch. So I'm kind of confused on like why my mom would say like, did she want to get caught? Stuff like that.
They never tell you how much something actually cost.
Women only own like a few bras and they wash them. They hardly wash them.
We're not saying this. This is from the BuzzFeed article.
Yeah. And I know this to be true. Like women will tell you, yo, because bras are like $100. You know, them shit's expensive. And now women are getting to this thing where they're like, yo, I'm not even wearing a bra no more. Fuck it.
Not mad at that.
Are you? I like bras.
I like when they just sitting there like up under the shirt. I'm kind of good with that.
I'm so glad sundresses is done. I hated them shits.
Yeah, like I love sundresses. No, you know why you didn't like sundresses? Because everybody wasn't sundress ready.
Facts.
That and like the pencil skirts, like everybody wasn't ready, so it was just like it was kind of ruining the experience.
Well, the chicks was wearing the pencil skirts to hide their fupa. A lot of y'all didn't need to have the maxi dresses on. Like some of y'all was just too short, no ass. It was just like, why? But I'm glad that, you know, we need to have like an initiation to be able to wear sundresses back in this community.
I like sundresses are classy. Man. All right, let's go through some of these. Let's go through number 6.
Go in on sundresses.
Yeah, let's go on number 6. All right. Number 6 was, the first 5 was boring. That's why I skipped down to number 6.
Okay.
So, sometimes I suggest watching porn while we have sex because I feel bad that the way they have sex with me. I feel bad.
Yeah, her grammar's bad.
Okay. This way they can pretend they're having sex with someone else. I think everybody might do that from time to time during sex.
I'm married. I'm not gonna look at my
like. I mean, fellas, I think it happened to us too. Like, don't get it twisted. We just talked about Matt Stafford. I think sometimes that, like, sometimes the imagination need to kickstart. Sometimes
I don't like having sex watching porn. There's too much going on.
Yeah, no, not watching porn, but you know the ideal of being with someone else.
I told you, man. Sometimes he ain't into it. He thinking about your sister, man, your cousin.
Let's see here. How much I don't want them talking to me when I don't know them. Y'all always say this, and then we get all these TikToks of y'all crying about y'all feel invisible. Anyway.
Oh, my favorite one is this now. I ain't never heard this, which pissed me off. I have lunch with an old guy friend of mine. My boyfriend doesn't know that he works on the same campus as me or that we have lunch. We don't hook up and flirt, but my boyfriend didn't like him from the first time they met. Why is he meeting you? Never mind. I know he would just make it such into a big issue and he wouldn't believe me, so I don't tell him. That's flagrant.
That is flagrant, but I think that's common. I think that's one of those woman's secret things where it's more common than what you think. Like, your girl's homeboy, right?
She said, an old guy friend of mine. Let me tell you something. Every time my wife has introduced me to an old guy friend and I didn't like him, I was like, oh, he like you. But I don't really like, and it's hard like explaining to her like, yo, bro like you. Like I could tell.
All right.
Come on, man. If your girl was having lunch with a guy friend all the time and you didn't know they worked together?
I don't want my girl to have lunch with a guy friend. My point is, I think that the fact that she's telling us, she's kind of letting us know that like this is a thing that happens with the ladies.
I'm going home and doing some research because my wife just transferred to a new campus. But shut that shit down.
Hey, pop up. All you gotta do is pop up. Once you pop up, only do this with your wives. Anybody else, you gonna probably get, they gonna tell you that you're abusive. But with your wife, you can pop up, right? Because you can be like, oh, baby, I miss you. Here's the flowers.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'm showing up. All right, I like this one. No matter how much he tells me that he loves me, I'm beautiful and the best thing, blah, blah, blah. I'm absolutely terrified of losing him because at some point he'll get sick of me or he'll meet someone prettier or more clever or more into the same things he is. I know women have this fear. I'm gonna tell you, like, if I really like you, I this is gonna sound crazy to say, I don't really care about everybody else. I know y'all think that. If we're really into you, like, I think one of the things, right? I think women got this thing where it's like, all men ain't shit, right? But then they find their man, they don't really say that about men anymore.
Yeah.
I think women need to realize that, like, men are like, yo, women are annoying. And when we find our woman, like, we're really like, yo, this is all I got bandwidth for. All the rest of the women out there really don't matter. Now, that does not mean when we see a fine woman in a sundress that we don't look, right?
Yeah.
But we look at a pretty woman and we be like, I know she a headache. I know she's absolutely
yesterday,
100% a headache.
A shorty, I'm gonna show you her profile on Instagram. Shorty followed me on Instagram. I was telling my wife, I'm like, damn, she fine. And then I told my wife, I said, I know this bitch annoying. Like, I could tell, like you could tell, bruh. Hold on, Mike, because when I tell y'all I'm about to show Mike, and Mike gonna be like,
I'm gonna read this while number 10. I do not tell him my real body count. I always give him a lower number because having a body count higher than like 5 is considered shameful for women. I once told a guy my real number, he slut shamed me, even though it's not that high. It would be perfectly normal for one dude. Hey, you know that shit was 20 plus, 30 plus. And I'm not, again, I'm not gonna shame you. Not gonna shame you. But I am gonna ask you, like, how did you get there?
I think if I'm 35 and I meet a chick, long as you don't tell me you like in 40s.
I don't ask, bro.
I never asked nobody. I asked one girl in high school, and I told my older cousin, he was like, that's the stupidest question you could ask.
It really, because they're going to lie. Like, she's telling you, they're going to lie. The only person, like, you don't want that. You do not want that. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Yeah, hold on to that one. I gotta watch it after the show. We about to be too much dead air. All right.
I told y'all, look or follow me. I told my wife, I said, I know she a headache.
Oh, I love this right here. We have more hair. Yeah, I'm gonna get off that because they already drag me in the comments whenever they think I objectify women. Like, she's beautiful. I'm not objectifying her. Being observant. We have more hair than you might think, and we hide it pretty well. I'm talking about straight hairs on our chin, nipples, and butt. This is true. And ladies, I'm going to let you know, we see all that hair.
Yeah, we do.
And we don't care.
Yeah.
We don't care. My first girlfriend had nipple hair. It's the first time I walked into it. Wasn't really expecting it. I loved her.
Yeah.
I loved her. Right? I never said anything about it. We know y'all have chinny hair and nose hairs and stuff. We don't care. Look, when we in love, man, if we just really into you, all your little imperfections, we see them and we don't care. So women, y'all don't have to keep this stuff secret.
Yeah, especially because we grew up with, we was raised by black women. And when black women get older, especially your grandma and your mom, they get older, before they get out the car to go to church, they make sure that they don't have no chin hair on them. And so you just kind of be like, wait a second, y'all get chin hair? It's like, yeah, your body grows hair.
Yes.
It happens.
We do not care.
I sent you the profile.
All right. Sometimes, all right, this one probably definitely applies to you.
Oh, gosh.
That sometimes I can be jealous of a platonic relationship. It occurs more with male friends than female friends. It's not the hugest issue in the world. It's just something that I won't. BuzzFeed, come on. I won't admit to them.
They just copied and pasted.
Either openly.
You know what's funny is we had that conversation. So everybody knows when I was growing up, throughout high school, I was only friends with Jamar and Teak. Shout out to them. Teak didn't like me kicking her back in. Oh well. You cost me too much money. I got to kick your back in. Anyway, but it was, as I got older and especially my profession, I became friends with a lot of ladies. And it was hard. You know what I'm saying? I've been in relationships or talking to women who's like, yo, I am not comfortable with none of that. But for me, with my audience, my target audience, my core audience was women. I couldn't just abandon that because you ain't paying not one bill around here. But, you do have to learn to educate. Going back to earlier, if I want to be here, we got to communicate so we know where we're getting to and where we're going to. And that was a beautiful thing with me and my wife. But she still was just like, yeah. She shut down one relationship.
I want to hear about that one off air. I want to hear who that was.
And then we ran into the girl at Live at the 5. That was awkward.
And finally, we're going to read the last one. This is from women. I have never once had a man make me orgasm better than I've made myself.
Y'all be lying.
I'm gonna tell you, like, if a woman tells me like, yo, I've never had, I'm really like, yo, you're not communicating. Cause for one, I mean, like, every woman's body is different. Every clitoris is different.
Facts.
Right? What you're into is different. Yeah. So if you don't tell me whatever it is that you're thinking of whenever you're making yourself orgasm, it's a good chance I'm never going to guess it.
Yeah, and I don't have time because...
So, like, anytime I hear that, I know it's a communication problem. Like, and this is something I think a lot of people don't understand. It's like, yo, when you're talking sometimes... Like, let me tell you something. There's a lot of y'all that I follow, and y'all throw up Jennifer Lewis and Eartha Kitt and what's my other homegirl name from the 70s, 60s. I can't think of her name right now. But y'all throw a lot of those women up in your profiles and y'all be saying slick stuff, and then y'all be like, no, nobody want to date me, right? Or I can't find a date, or men ain't shit. Look, those are not the women that you need to be throwing into your profile and saying slick stuff. Like, a lot of y'all don't understand that, like, as guys, I know you are taught that we don't We're not observant. We're not emotionally intelligent. Look, man, we pick up on a lot of that small stuff that we be like, yeah, I can tell.
I'm good.
I'll tell you gonna be a headache. Anyway,
Absolutely.
those are Women's Secret articles. The Slow News Week. We read it all.
Shout out to Jennifer Lewis. You know she bipolar?
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. She talks about how she didn't know how she started her career.
Yeah.
She didn't know what was going on. She got diagnosed, and she has a lot of interviews where she talks about going to the doctor, taking your medication, and everything.
She's fun to listen to.
Yeah, I love her voice.
I don't think I love her voice.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna be married to her, and that's fair.
That's fair. I ain't the type of guy for you.
Yeah, not.
Sports takes, my favorite part, prize picks. This is when you could give us a deal right here. The one that you did not give to Mandy. You could put it right here.
Mandy upset about that. Yeah, go ahead and drop us a
little bag, man.
Yeah,
I'll be in Vegas, man.
Yeah.
JJ Reddick. The ladies had a Sierra prayer.
We, as men, we want the JJ Reddick prayer. Lord, please take me from Little League podcasting to who's the biggest podcaster around? Spotify, $100 million deal.
To be Joe Rogan. That's what happened.
That's exactly what happened to JJ Reddick.
This man was bombing on the finals as a broadcaster. I don't care. I'm here to double down on the Mike Breen, Doris, and JJ Reddick. Awful.
Yes.
Like, at least put Reggie Miller back on there.
Yeah.
But it was awful, right? He did that. Never been an assistant coach. Never been a strengthening coach, trainer, nothing.
Not a film reviewer.
Nothing.
Like, men need the JJ Reddick prayer.
Like, and my man is not even, he's on the second most storied franchise in the NBA of all time.
Yeah. Insane.
And then he got a 4-year deal.
Insane.
And then he wants to go hire Sam Cassell, which is hilarious. But Sam Cassell's gonna take that because that's what most black folks end up doing.
We got to do what we got to do to survive in the environment that we're in.
What you think gonna happen with them?
What, JJ Reddick?
Yeah, in the Lakers.
I mean, it's gonna fail upwards. That's what happens in this country. The more doofus you are for a role, the more likely you are to win.
Stephen A. Smith wants a new deal. That's not a big deal. I think it is weird that he keeps saying every day on First Take that he's pocket watching everybody. And it's like, all right, awkward. Shannon got his deal. We know you want to be up. I'm here to say I'm all for anybody. If you can negotiate it, bro, please get it. So if Stephen A. Smith can get $25 a year.
Yeah, get whatever you can negotiate. I'll be honest, man. I have hated ESPN for a long time, so I really don't watch ESPN, especially once NBA Network and NFL Network came. Like, I watch those shows for like whatever I'm looking for now in sports. I'll be 100%. I prefer Sky Sports over ESPN. Like, and Sky Sports is British, by the way. So, like, I don't like ESPN. So, I mean, is Stephen A. Smith, is he worth $25 million or is he worth losing? I don't know, but it does seem like he's trying to force his way out. It doesn't seem like he really want to re-sign. You've
been saying that.
It really seems like, but I don't know where Stephen A. Smith go. Like, who wants Stephen A. Smith that badly?
I think that Stephen A. Smith is playing this perfectly to get his 25 because he was only getting like 8 before. So to go in there people and say, yo, I want to triple my salary is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think they said they offered him 18, which could be a lie, right? They could be offering him 12. But, I mean, either way, I mean.
But here's the thing. This is why I say you smart. It's going to be, that show ain't going to be that show if you leave and you just leaving Shannon there.
Real talk, yeah, I don't think.
And so
Stephen A. does carry. I still think he did Max Kellerman wrong. I think Max Kellerman was he's one of the stars of ESPN. Like, so I think Stephen A. is too, and I think that was part of the problem, right? You have a star, right, and then you have a rising star, and I definitely think, you know, as a star, you're going to protect your turf. So I think a little bit of that will kind of see this dude coming.
But so I look at Stephen A. and I'm like, all right, I don't like First Take at all. I think it's washed.
All of ESPN shows are terrible.
Yeah, they are.
All of them are. Like, I mean, it's just the most popular network. They don't have one show that, I mean, PTI is probably the only show that I'm like, all right, I need to hit the DVR.
Yeah, I'm not even hitting it on that because they show it 3 times throughout the day.
Exactly.
So it's like, all right, I catch it. You know, I do want to know if he gets that, how does that reset the market? Because Skip ain't finna get renewed. I'm sorry. But
I don't think they're gonna re-sign him. I think he's trying to force his way out. Look how much talent that they just let go from ESPN, right?
Yeah.
So
but,
I don't.
To your point, where is he gonna go? You could do your pod. Maybe Stephen A.
Is Fox Sports, dangling, trying to get Stephen A. over?
So if you do that, I think Stephen A. I think you pulling real coward moves. If you're gonna be at ESPN, you're gonna kick Skip's back in for a year because clearly Shannon signed some paperwork on his way out the door saying he can't kick Skip's back in, right?
Obviously.
And so I say that to say that Stephen A. has been on tour. He's been on Joe Budden. He's been on other podcasts where he's like, yo, let me tell y'all what Skip did to Shannon.
Hey, what if Stephen A. and Shannon,
Skip get back together?
Skip, get back together.
That'd be, Fox will, let me tell you something.
Maybe that's the play.
It should be, but that's the only way it's going to save it. And if it does that, Shannon got to go fight Stephen A. Smith. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Shannon absolutely has to go.
You got to go fight
Stephen
this
A.
man.
Low key, I think he's trying to push out. I did not think about him and Skip getting back together, but that would be a good wrap up for both of their careers.
Yeah. Or I wouldn't be surprised if Skip, once his shit is over, if ESPN be like, yo, Skip, come back over here. But you can't turn around and give Skip $20 million a year. Skip was only getting like what, 5 years, 30 million?
Skip is the he's the OG, bro. He's the OG of the sports entertainment world.
And I wish
and truth be told, I think, not to bring be morbid, but I think he's the last of the dying breed.
Yeah.
I think he's the last one.
Yeah.
You still got Keith Olbermann, but Keith doesn't do sports anymore.
I wish Nick Wright was black. Him and Skip every day will be primetime TV.
Nick identifies with the culture, don't he? Like, kids is black.
You want to get back to the cookout conversation?
Kids are black.
He got a black wife? A black girl?
Don't quote me on that.
Okay. Somebody look it up.
Yeah, Nick Wright.
Speaking about Nick Wright, he talking about, and we'll get to the draft in a little bit. Y'all know this. We can do it super quick. Is this the weakest NBA draft we've seen?
Man, I haven't paid attention to it one time.
I don't know anybody that's getting drafted outside of Bronny, and he going
to the second round.
Yeah, so it's like I do want to list the top weakest drafts, but this might be up there.
Yeah, boy, this is Nick.
Oh, hell no. Oh, you got a sister.
Yeah. I thought
she cute too, Nick.
I was like, I'm pretty sure Nick Wright got
she
black
look a
kids.
little biracial. All right, Nick. I respect that, Nick. No wonder. It's something about their hair. You could tell the white boys who got the black sisters, their hair look very conditioned.
They are going to eat you up on YouTube.
Nah, I ain't gonna cook it. You can tell the white boys who got black girls, man. And I can also tell the black dudes who got white girls by their haircut as well. RG3. You remember his ass?
that dude. Oh my gosh.
Why y'all don't like RG3, man?
Man,
you seen his Juneteenth post?
Yeah, it's just federal holiday, man. That's all I got to say. Federal holiday.
They said that they was cheating for Mike.
Absolutely, they were cheating for Mike, man. Those stats are ridiculous.
They was amazing stats.
Mike had like 4 steals, 2.5 blocks. Like, bro, come on, man.
I will give this article more validity if Scottie Pippen didn't come out and did his little soapbox, and if Nick Wright didn't giggle on First Things First and say, yeah, I had a hand in this article. Nick Wright, just like all you other LeBron fans, only way he can uplift LeBron is by shitting on Mike. That's the only way. And
it's fun to watch.
It is fun to watch. But if you play any type of sports betting, you could see how the scorekeepers be getting the steals wrong like all the time.
Yeah.
I literally watched Drew Holiday rip somebody and pass the ball up, and it still went to the person he passed it to. And I was just like, he only needed one steal for me to get paid today, and that still did not count.
Oh, yeah. I hate when they do that. I hate when who they gave it to Tatum?
Yeah, it was like, yeah, so you could see how it happened. Yeah. Now, I can't wait, and I don't think it'll ever happen because I think this story has already been stepped on enough. But when we start doing this for other superstars, I think the only problem that Mike have is we have game tape of Mike telling a ref what the call should be and it being changed.
Yeah, I mean, what's crazy is, like I said, I mean, I went down a rabbit hole a little bit. They were saying like a lot of the old NBA videos, they were like, they're not online anymore. Like a lot of the old videos that we
makes
had
sense.
when we was like between stars and refs and full games, they were like, the NBA has archived like all that shit off of like YouTube and Twitter. Like they've copyrighted all of it. So they was like, if it's not from the NBA, it's really hard to find now online. And I mean, I think a lot of that is, sadly, I mean, I think there was more, I don't know if I want to call it cheating, right? Because I still think there's some objectivity in the game, right? Like, you know, while Mike might be getting the stats, right? Like you still got to put the ball in the bucket, right?
Facts.
But you foul calls and stuff. I think what was that ref name that we talked about? You know, screwing up scores. Was it Tim Donahue? Donahue or whatever. Yeah. I think when you see stuff like this, it kind of gives, by the way, it kind of gives validity that, you know, I won't say it's scripted, but it's, you know, you have somebody you're pulling for. Somebody that should be objective is actually pulling for somebody.
And I think now these young kids, when you talk to them, they see athleticism as talent. And it's not.
No.
And with that, they will see, and I don't want to shit on nobody, but damn Russell Westbrook. Shout out to you for getting on stage with Kendrick, man. I saw you up there. I like that. They will see a Russell Westbrook and see how athletic he is and think he's more talented than
like he's more
John Stockton,
Chris Paul,
right? Even like more. Like it's like, all right. So, and I say that to say what they will end up doing is go say, hey, you know what? John Stockton was asked because he can't, dunk from the free throw line. Yeah. And he can't jump out of the gym, and then they don't realize like, nah. Kendrick, shout out for saying I'm about to pass on his body like John Stockton. And you see all these passes to Karl Malone. Wink, wink.
Have we gotten an Eminem quote from a rap song in any of our comments yet?
No.
Okay, I was just wondering.
They did play Stan at the Kendrick show in between. I thought that was funny because the Drake stands.
I'm just saying, like, it's funny, right? Because we use quotes for rappers all the time. All the time. Pop out, and I'm like, I still can't think of one for them.
No. Yeah, I don't never want to talk about killing my mom.
Go.
So
yeah. I'm just saying.
But so I think the NBA is trying to hide, like they're trying to help their old stars. Not even that. Like if you listen to Michael Jordan, you say, "Hey, who's your favorite? Who's the best NBA player of all time?" He would tell you it's Dr. J. He has always landed there.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody under 50 who think Dr. J is the greatest NBA player of all time,
60, bro.
So but if I keep watching Dr. J things, I'm gonna be looking at him and like, have you ever seen LeBron dribble a ball? Like, you want to talk about dunks?
Yeah, I
think,
what I'm saying? Yeah, I think the NBA is protecting Mike. And what's crazy about that is Mike is great. Like, we don't need to protect Mike. Like,
y'all kick his back in all the time.
Yeah, because again, right? Everybody said that the dude is 100, and we're like, yo,
yeah, he is.
He's not 100. Like he's like it's like a 98, which is still damn good. But it's like, yo, we watched the guy play. We have watched him shoot air ball. We did see him get stripped in the corner with the Magic. We did see him not be able to, get past the Pistons to save their life. Like, we was worried. And again, right, I'm young, but I'm a hoop fan, right? Like, I subscribed to Slam since from the time it came out, right? We did watch, Mike play the Lakers and be like, oh, shit, like, is he going to win, right? So it's like, it was a lot of questions there. It wasn't just like, yo, this dude is the best thing since sliced bread since day one.
He is, man.
Like,
y'all never hear me big up Mike in Michael Jordan, that is, and have to put down LeBron to ever do it.
Well, no, I mean, I don't. I'm a LeBron fan. I'm clearly there, right? And if you tell me like, hey, the draft is tomorrow, you get every player that ever existed in the NBA history at the age of 23, right?
Who are you taking?
Number one,
yeah,
Wilt Chamberlain. It ain't even close. It's not even close. The dude can do everything. So like, I'm taking Wilt, but like,
outside of him, because we ain't got no video. Was he actually a real person? Do you remember when he was alive?
I don't remember when he's alive, but I know just going through all his stats and his numbers and just seeing that, like, yo, this dude was never not good.
See, I always wonder about that because for me, I think it's going to be Wilt, Kareem, Mike, LeBron, and it's maybe one other person maybe probably Shaq. It's like,
yeah, I mean, I think that's the list. I think it is Wilt. I think it's Kareem. You said Mike then LeBron. I might go LeBron then Mike.
Oh yeah, I wasn't saying in order. I'm just saying those are the 5 players that I think anybody would be like, if I can only get one.
Like I got a number 1 draft pick. I got availability.
I think it's
every
between
player.
those 5 players.
Yeah, I think that is the list, and I mean towards the end, I think Shaq. I think that's probably. Yeah. I think that probably is number 5. But like, yeah, I mean, I think that's the list. So when I look at it. So again, but I would never say Wilt is the GOAT, right? But if you say like, yo, you could choose any player, I'm like, it's no question. I go Wilt automatically. Like, what did Wilt tell Mike when they was at the Hall of Fame? He was like, they made rules for you. They made rules to help you in the game. Mm-hmm. They made rules to stop me in the game.
He couldn't dunk.
Like insane, right?
That's ridiculous.
Half of the goaltending, the way that they do goaltending is Wilt. The lines on it's Wilt. Like I mean. So if you ask like, yo, like what player you, dude? There's just so many stories, man. Like we can go through the old school stories. They were like he was 40 years old when he was with the Lakers, and like somebody called him like washed up on the other team, and they were like, Wilt literally at 40 blocked every. He was on the second team, blocked every shot on the first team for like next 10 minutes in there. Like nobody could score on the first team. That's at crazy. 40, bro. Dude became a professional volleyball player for fun when he retired. Like, come on, man. Like, it's fucking. All right, let's move on for sport. We done definitely dried out the pod on that.
Well, to dry it out even more, the debate is Thursday. They've agreed to muting mics. They've agreed to the rules. I read something. I don't know if it's true or not. They say it won't be an audience there.
I mean, I can see that. They low key they said that Trump's not even gonna show up. Like
really?
That he's gonna go to a rally.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I actually hope that happens because I don't want to see either one of these guys on stage. This is terrible.
I want to see it on stage, but I am here to tell y'all.
I don't want to see this.
I want to see this, but I just want everybody to forget about it after it's done because I think if I think what's going to happen is going to happen, Joe Biden going to look so bad, and
I don't know if he's going to look bad. I think we're going to see the effects of amphetamines and cocaine.
Yeah,
like no, you're not going to see an old man. You're going to see somebody energized, and like that's always drugs. That's always amphetamines or cocaine, and I'm just like, I just don't want to see that.
Yeah, it's going to be over.
I don't, and I don't even. Real talk. I think he's gonna pull out. I think once he wins, I think he's gonna pull out, and the Democrats gonna throw up another candidate. It won't be Kamala or however Miss.
You don't think they're gonna put the sister up there?
No, she's not right. I think they're gonna pull him out. I really do, but I really.
Who you think they'd get?
I mean, they should have went for Gavin Newsom. They should have did this 2 cycles ago.
Oh, you said Newsom. Never mind.
Yeah, or Gavin. But Democrats do. I see y'all do this on the internet too, right? Like, y'all like the virtue signal, right? Like you like to be like, oh, we're moralists, and someone does this, we're gonna shame them, right? And like Republicans did that with Democrats, when it came to John Edwards because he supposedly cheated on his wife.
Yeah.
Don't think he did. I think his wife had pretty much gave him permission to do what he needed to do to be a man. They did the same thing with Harold Dean. I think it's Harold Dean. When he got too excited and made a sound, it was just like, oh my God, this man is going to embarrass you on the national stage.
Mm-hmm.
When it came to Obama, they tried to make it seem like, he was half Kenyan.
Yeah.
Right. Like the Tea Party didn't exist. You know what I'm saying? So like, and the party of family values, right? They do all these things for everything that Democrats have done. And then only for them to roll out Trump, right? The dude that has 3 baby mamas, fucking porn stars.
Mm-hmm. I don't care what he say. He's not with Melania.
Being with his like, what I'm saying? Like the party of family values rolled that out when it was time for them to get what they want. So the reason why I hate debates is because Democrats are feckless. Like they're ineffectual. And instead of them actually doing what should work, what should be right, they always do what they think Republicans won't fight against. So I have no intention of watching this.
You remember when saying the N-word or being like a hint of maybe you're racist will get you out of the presidential race?
Yeah, not anymore. That would probably get you more, but that'll get you through the primaries now.
Yeah.
So it's like,
bro, that shit used to get you
as an African American, I really can't care about either side anymore. I really have to care about my brothers that are like-minded, my brothers that are of all nationalities. My African American brothers, my Jamaican American brothers, my Hispanic brothers, the couple white brothers that started listening.
Shout out to Nick Wright.
Shout out to y'all for getting here. Don't know how you found us, but but it's like we have to find like-minded men. Man, it's like it like just break away from this degeneracy that's going on.
Yeah, you have to separate. Damn, it was a great conversation I was having somebody in closing. I sound like the preacher. Ben did send me an article. Hold on. I gotta play. It's not an article. I gotta read it out to you. Just to close this out. But it's so funny because it's a church thing. It says a pastor claimed he spoke to God and he was told it's okay. Whenever a pastor say that,
yeah,
he might be lying. I'm gonna just put it like that. A church in Mexico is trending online after they announced they are selling plots of land to heaven for $100 a square meter. The pastor said he spoke to God and granted permission to do this. They got thousands of dollars.
We got to start smacking people. We got to bring smacking back. It's got reduce it to a misdemeanor, a $25 fine.
A $25 fine.
Yeah, we got to bring smacking back, man. People just out of bounds. Smacking has to make a return because he needs to be smacked.
$100.
I'm selling $100 plots
in heaven.
Where everything is free. I can't stand. I hate it here.
I can't wait. I might read that again next week during our church announcement. So I'm bringing that back. Look, man, what you got planned this weekend?
Not doing too much. I got kiddo, man. So we'll be at the pool this week. This weekend, I don't know, man. I'd save money. I had another trip planned. I gotta save money. I can't do anything.
There you go. If you in New York, you might see me rolling around in New York this weekend. Supposed to be hitting up a podcast up there. It's an albinism podcast, so we'll see how that goes, man. That should be interesting.
Nice. Hit Joe up, man.
I'm trying to find somebody up there.
Yeah.
The albinism podcast is gonna be interesting because I asked him what I can't say.
Oh yeah. Joe needs to let us do when he goes on vacation. Speaking of the Joe Budden podcast and drama, is Flip off the podcast?
They are beefing right now. I don't think Joe keeps saying he's not banned, he's not kicked off. I think the rumor is they were talking about Diddy, and this is the rumor from Twitter. Nobody from the pod has said it. And they were talking about how why some people speak about when they're harassed and when they don't, and why does this come up later. And it was somebody else who I think we brung it up to, is another story. And Flip made a comment to Mel like, you've been through some of those stuff and you held it down and you kept it quiet. And whenever he said it, it wasn't a big deal, but it was like this. It was the most awkward silence ever. And when they said it, he was like, yeah, like, oh, my bad. Like, he said it like that, which they just ran from it. And so
they're not live. They can cut it out.
They can always cut it out.
Yeah, like they're not.
And so I think that's what Twitter's trying to make it seem like. But even more that you just said with that, I didn't even think about that. Like, yo, y'all edit the podcast all the time.
Exactly.
But it did come out. That was a thing. But you know what? This is what I was gonna say. I was telling somebody, I said, I don't think Flip is going to be kicked off. Flip is he's a great asset to the pod. If you don't like him, you don't like him. But like I tell people all the time, on the internet, there's more flips than ish.
Yeah.
The internet is filled with flips. Exactly. And I don't mean that to no disrespect to Flip. And I will shoot Flip some bail and say, maybe you are playing a part, because the guy's always on there. Flip is married. He has kids by the same woman.
Yeah.
He's with his son is like his assistant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they always say Flip is always with his kids. He always is on the phone working on it. He got them in private school. So for all the crazy shit Flip does, he's a family man, right? But like I always say, there's more flips on the internet, and you do have to find the issues of the world. A man who, we're going to ignore your drug dealing and jail ways. We're going to ignore that and the multiple baby moms. Sorry, no offense. But Ish is a college man. He owns his own company. He has always said, in my 20s, I was selling millions. I had millions.
Yeah.
I think that was the drugs, but we're going to ignore that. But for the most part, Ish, him and his girl, he's very much a businessman.
But to your point, though, like, even when you deal with, like, hustlers, right? Like, there's more flips, right?
Yeah.
Dudes that wanted to be hustlers than dudes that actually
I'm just thinking about ignorance.
Yeah.
How many times, what you say about the bottom third all the time.
Yeah. If you're a drug dealer, you can't be ignorant. You're not going to last long.
Facts.
Like, people won't even, like, deal with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're not reliable, if you're not on time, if you don't keep your mouth shut, if you're not savvy, if you mess the money up, like, all these are reasons why people be like, no. The answer's no.
And shout out to Power and they drug dealing ways on there. This is the most unrealistic shit, man. But I love it.
It is absolutely like they're just taking it to another level. Like this season,
I love it though.
It is definitely a guilty pleasure, man.
Yeah, I love it. If new doc before we get out of here, it's called Telemarketers. It's on HBO Max. It's the reason why the telemarketers act the way they act now. It is the most crazy. It's cool. You should only watch the first episode. The next two just shows you. They had telemarketers they hired a telemarketer. They didn't do no background checks. They had murderers on the call. They literally are recording one of the guys who's the telemarketer. And he's a convicted felon. He did 30 years in prison for murder. And they had people on there who, when you would hang up, bang on, whatever, they have your name, address, and everything. Yeah. He was writing down people's addresses.
Insane.
One of the dudes, not the same dude, one of the dudes, he was on there like, I hope somebody fucking kills you right now. And he'll say their name and everything. It's
I'm not mad at telemarketers that go off of the phone. Whenever I get a call from like all the fraud calls now come from India, right? So like anytime they call me and like they're talking, like I play along with them all the time.
Yeah, they get upset.
Like my mom was like, I had it on speakerphone, and he was like telling me about like a bank loan or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just did the paperwork. I just sent it over. Like y'all just called me 5 minutes ago, right?
Bro.
To get their hopes up and stuff, and then they realized I actually had one. I was messing with him, and then he hung up on me, right? Mm-hmm. And I thought that was it. He actually called me back to say fuck you.
Bro, they be wilding. The dude on the telemarket, it's called telemarketer. The best salesman, bro, he was doing heroin at his desk. They're recording it. This is back in the day. They're recording it and putting it on YouTube.
Was he doing heroin or was he doing like Vicodin or?
No, he was doing heroin. He was shooting up. They had prostitutes in the bathroom. But here's the thing. They're putting all of this on YouTube because this is when YouTube had no rules. Oh. So all this shit is on YouTube. It wasn't until they got sued that the owners of the company was wondering why they were getting sued and why people knew so much. They didn't know they was doing like
they had a YouTube channel.
Yeah, they had a call center YouTube channel. And they're like, yo, your people are doing smack they're shooting up in the bathroom with prostitutes. There,
I did not work in call centers like that, but I'll probably say like the first, when I was like 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, I worked in the call center. It's fun.
Yeah, it's a wild place.
Call centers are fun, man.
Look, man, I want to thank everybody for listening, for tuning in. Slow news week, but hey, you still got us.
Yeah, we got through it, man. We actually gave y'all a lengthy pod. I thought it was going to be short today.
And stop being hoes after you 35.
Stop
men and women.
Yeah, the hoeing needs to stop.
At what age?
It needs to be memories. I go at 35.
Yeah,
you should be slowing down in your late 20s.
Facts.
You should be slowing down.
That's when you get good at what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. And you do it with one person. You need to get married. You need to settle down.
Oh yeah.
Hey, get out the game. You got to get out the game.
Never mind. Do that instead.
I'm about to get out the game, man.
Oh, hand claps for that.
Yeah, next couple years.
Look, shout out to Mike for slowing down and checking out the game. And with that,
I'm old now.
We're gonna holler at y'all next time.
Holler at your boy.